Welcome, guys. Good to see you two here at the NRF show of 2024. I introduce myself, Rick Kelly, Chief Revenue Officer for Linnworks. Been with the organization about a year. And sitting here with Ed and sitting here with Brendan. So Ed, introduce yourself.
Thanks, Rick. My name's Ed Bradley. I'm the CEO and founder of Virtualstock. We're a software as a service platform that offers dropship and marketplace solutions for large traditional retailers.
Mr. Brendan.
Thanks, Rick. My name is Brendan Feeney. I lead up North America sales for Linnworks. Linnworks is a connected commerce operations platform. So essentially providing connectivity to marketplaces, channels like Virtualstock, and then being able to really manage the back end. So inventory, orders, shipping, fulfillment, truly being that backbone for e-commerce businesses to manage all their online channels and the operational work that goes into that.
Yeah, so we just formed a great partnership as of over the weekend, actually. NRF is a great place to showcase that partnership. And so maybe, Ed, from your perspective, you've been in the industry 20 years building your organization. Yep. And maybe talk a little bit about the partnership from your perspective, and then we'll give you our perspective on it.
Yeah, great. Thanks, Rick. So like you say, we've been going for 20 years. And I guess it's probably fair to say that our platform was a little ahead of the market. Drop shipping has been, I suppose, like a necessary evil for a lot of retailers wanting to ship large, bulky items, but is now very much becoming a strategic direction to grow online sales, grow the revenue, because it makes sense to do so that way because they are not taking ownership of the inventory. And so it's a very low risk, low cost way of turbocharging your online sales. So now that that's becoming a strategic direction for the retailers, they're getting serious about just managing these things properly. And where we've always had an API through which suppliers can automate, and some of the larger suppliers have done so. And what I mean by that is their inventory updates, so their stock updates to the retailer, processing orders, processing tracking, publishing product data to the retailer's website. That's all been done on a sort of semi-manual basis as well, because some of the larger suppliers they automate. But most of the smaller suppliers or mid-tier suppliers have always relied on the user interface to manage their orders. The retailers are now putting real pressure on them to automate. They want to know what's going on with those orders in real time. They want to have the most accurate picture of just what's happening to their very precious consumer orders. And so we're seeing huge degree of automation through the pressure put on by the retailers, and that's where you guys come in. Linnworks are our preferred systems integrator and partner in that respect, and it's been great. And so it's a super important part of the journey, the evolution of the platform.
Absolutely. Great overview also on why we're merging our ecosystems together. Brendan, you've been with Linnworks several years, and you know Virtualstock very well. So from a global perspective, and specifically in U.S., how do you see an impact to our ecosystem and the customers and working with Ed and his team?
Yeah, I think there's a number of really interesting things that Virtualstock's doing, and Ed, you hit the nail on the head with the fact that a lot of these bulkier items and folks that are selling larger products, it hasn't been very easy they can't go through the same traditional ways of sending that off to have someone store it. It's much more simple for them to kind of maintain that from their side and then fulfill as they get those orders. What I think is really interesting about this is that traditionally a lot of these bigger retailers haven't really had an easy way to create a marketplace presence or have an opportunity for sellers to come on, take some of their catalog, and have a way to bring that to the larger consumers out there so they have a wider ability to get more products, more opportunities, and to really find what's best for them. Where I think this is unique from a Linnworks perspective is our customers now can tap into a whole wider opportunities for channels to now connect and work with. I know you guys are doing big things with a number of ones over in the US as well as in the UK. Mm-hmm. I think that opens up a number of opportunities where most folks have to stick to the traditional type of marketplaces, more US specific. Now it opens up more for them to go and have a wider kind of reach to new consumers. We want to make it easier for our customers to get to more channels, to get to more marketplaces. Mm-hmm. And how can we help automate the back end for that? I think this is a now new evolution that's starting where it's going to be more and more opportunities for folks to get their products on a channel that makes sense for them where they haven't had that opportunity to do that in the past.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, I would say having 4,000 customers worldwide on the Linnworks platform and taking the success you guys have had in the UK primarily, and then taking that experience and bringing it to the U.S. market, North American market, I think it's going to be very impactful for not only Virtualstock but also for Linnworks. Also, we don't have a partnership that delivers what you guys deliver in North America. I think that creates a differentiator for us. But it's not always about us; it's about serving our customers, right? And make sure the consumer experience, customer experience is well thought of. So when you think about the U.S. and how you're going to come to the U.S. and working with you guys to get in the U.S., what do you see some of the opportunities like you've experienced in the U.K. with your customers here? Are they similar from a value perspective?
Yeah, absolutely. They really are very similar. I mean, we always say that we think retailers are kind of 80% the same and 20% different. So they're all looking for, supply chain solutions, procurement solutions, and they want to know where the order is, they want to know what the inventory levels are, and all that sort of thing. But each of the retailers will have, their own cancellation policy or returns policy, or there might be a different category of products that needs sort of specialist order processing. But essentially the proposition is the same, and the dropship solution really does answer so many of the questions. Everyone focuses on revenue growth, which is clearly a big aspect to it, but we've got case studies with our retailers back in the UK where they see average order value going up, they see gross margin going up, they see call center calls into their operation going down, almost eliminated, whereas my order calls, which reduces the operational cost within the retailer. So everywhere you look, there's just so much business benefit that it's just a no-brainer. On top of that, it's not just an e-commerce function. It actually improves the efficiency within your own distribution. So you can actually have a look at the profile of the products that you're stocking in your own distribution center and decide, okay, well, these ones aren't moving that fast, so let's push those into dropship. Let's become a much leaner, meaner operation. And that works really well. And the other thing is that all retailers go through a cash pinch point at some point. And so it's quite useful to have dropship as an option to promote those products, knowing that you've got 60-day payment terms with the supplier, but you can take the cash up front, so you can ride those spiky sort of cash positions within your retail operations. So there's a lot of business benefit, and we've had huge interest in NRF and the other discussions that we've had here in the US.
And there are a lot of retailers having marketplaces now, which is different than traditional in the past, just purely brick and mortar. So there's a lot of opportunity there from expanding your SKU and your items that you offer to your consumers, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the marketplace and dropship are the two obvious ways of expanding your range. There are pros and cons to both. We very much advise that you have both, because marketplace, there's no doubt about it. It allows you to turbocharge in a whole new level the number of SKUs that you have online. But dropship allows you to keep control of the range, control of the price point. And it just that is where the retailer should extend the range of products that they are known for. And if they're branching into new unknown categories, then marketplace is a better option.
So Brendan, we have 1,500 customers in North America. There's going to be a good impact for those 1,500 with working with Ed and the team at Virtualstock. Where do you see the benefits are essential sellers or SMB customers working with Virtualstock?
I think there's a few benefits, and Ed did a great job highlighting that. I think one of them is, first and foremost, what a lot of SMB mid-market retailers are after and brands is, how do we find incremental revenue growth? How do we find new customers that we haven't found before? It's increasingly expensive to not only get someone to your website, and that's why a lot of folks go the marketplace route, to have that wider net where you're leaning on the bigger marketplaces in the world, the Amazon, eBays, and Walmarts. But when it comes to some of these kind of retailers that are opening up marketplaces now, like via Virtualstock and others like Miracle in the Space and others out there, I think it creates a unique opportunity for not only to have control over what you're putting on those markets. It could be slower moving items if you want to find a way to get those selling more effectively. It could be you're now increasing how much you're ordering stock for your hottest items, and now you're trying to leverage and lean into that more. It's really where you're finding success as you open up those new channels. A lot of customers we see will typically lean into their kind of high selling value items, the ones that they see being most popular. And then how do we start to expand from the catalog of really what's going to be kind of driving the most success for them? The other end of that is on the fulfillment side. because a lot of the dropship really starts to think about, well, how do we fulfill orders? How do we have our pick pack processes? What's our warehouse operations look like? It gives you an opportunity to refine that, to drive more automation with that. And that's going to help other parts of their business beyond just fulfilling for the dropship orders.
Yeah, it's a really good call out because you think of the SLAs that retailers have.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them can't meet them because they don't have the right technology and
Yeah.
the ecosystem kind of work off that. So we had this question to us yesterday, Ed.
Yeah.
Frictionless, seamlessness, automation. I think they all go hand in hand, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, think about what we're like as consumers now. I mean, we are brutal.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we are brutal people out there. When we buy something, we want to know, we want the best range of products that we can possibly get. We want that range to be cheap, the best price we can possibly get. We want it to be delivered to anywhere of our choosing now, like today. We want to be able to return it anywhere else for free. I mean, that's, it's a pretty tall order of things to demand on a retailer, especially a retailer who has to accommodate that demand very, very quickly with legacy systems that have been there, not designed to do these sort of things in the first place. So it is difficult for a retailer to do that. But and those demands are going to get worse. They're going to get they're going to get heavier and heavier. And so what platforms like Virtualstock and Linnworks do is they remove that friction. They allow retailers to leverage best-in-class technology to deliver the customer's expectation and exceed it, and allow them to future-proof their own businesses and allow them to thrive in this world. Because there has been a tendency for retailers to want to build technology, but that it is outpacing any IT department in any retailer right now. I mean, it would be an impossible task to do. And AI coming in is going to compound that difficulty. So, here we are surrounded by the best technology companies in the world for retail. Retailers hopefully are embracing everything that they're seeing out there.
What do you think, Brendan?
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I think I hit the nail on the head. I think when I think about the frictionless experience, it's not only how do you accommodate all the consumer asks today. We're all needy nowadays. It's delivery time. It's customer experience. It's if I have something wrong with my order, what's my support going to be like when I come into the website? How am I getting my needs met very quickly when I go through my purchasing? Is it a smooth, easy path of resistance? Can I check out very easily? And then to accommodate that in the back end for the actual retailer, it's the technology and ecosystem that they have to support that and to keep up with that. So it's finding ways of how do we automate further with making it easier to keep up with this from an inventory synchronization perspective, so customers are getting the right visibility into what's available, how are they being served up those products, when things actually come through, how do we make it seamless for then the end retailer to then fulfill those orders, or the sellers to fulfill those orders. So frictionless goes both ways. It's not only just about the consumer experience to make sure that that's frictionless, but how do you make the back end frictionless so you're keeping up with that kind of consumer ask nowadays in the market?
Trends. We always talk about trends in the marketplace. You brought up AI. We talked a little bit about yesterday. What do you see some of the trends coming out that we can address together in the retail market? You're very experienced in this market, obviously, Ed. But what are some of the trends that you see that we should be thinking about as a team going forward?
Well, I mean, I suppose the most obvious trend that we're seeing is actually the core business. Range expansion online. We say there's two ways to grow your business as a retailer. You can add customers or you can add products. Right. So we add products, and obviously, like a lot of these technologies, it goes through the sort of the adoption curve. You get the early adopters who are the sort of really forward-thinking retailers, and then you get the mass market, and then obviously you get some laggards coming in behind. And we are seeing the mass market adoption right now. Great. So we've had, and it's gone from in the UK as well as here in the US. It's really been the big branded retailers that we all know that have adopted these types of technologies and these types of strategies first. And now we're seeing the mass market understanding, having the conversation about marketplace, having the conversation about drop shipping and range expansion. And so that's where we're seeing the pressure for automation and the frictionless, aspect of this that we've been talking about, which is why now we need to, we're perfectly poised to be able to help these retailers right now. We've got the platform, we've got the technology, we've got the connectivity to all the suppliers. Right. We're good to go.
It's the way consumers are shopping today. So beyond that's when we have now the rise of dropship. There's marketplaces and popularity of marketplaces. I think consumers have this expectation that wherever they're spending time, they want to be able to purchase commerce and have commerce met on their needs. So it's incumbent upon brands now of how do I find a way to make sure wherever that consumer is shopping of having an opportunity to get that sale or be able to service up our product in a meaningful way, in a personalized way to them. I think something really interesting to watch this upcoming year, we're already seeing some waves over in our UK team, is around social commerce. So things like in TikTok Shop and Buy on Google, and another area now that consumers are spending a lot of time. They're wanting to make purchases there. And now how are brands thinking about adopting that as a part of their strategy? So you can't just be single-threaded to do just wholesale or the kind of direct-to-consumer, dropship marketplace. I think social will be another element that a lot of brands will think about how they have a strategy around it.
As we look to 2025, NRF 2025, how do you see success for us working together? And how do we drive really value within our customers? Because we can measure success ourselves. We know how to do that. We're responsible things at our levels. But how do we drive success within our customer base, making sure a year from now we're doing what we need to do to keep in mind the consumer experience, customer experience, and then coming to the market with unique solutions that essentially will impact the retail community, right?
Yeah, I think measuring success is twofold. We're measuring our own success, and we're measuring the success of the operation that our retail clients and the ambitions that they're putting out to themselves. I mean, so really for us, success is obtaining more retail clients within the US market. We've had some some great conversations whilst we've been here in NRF, and we've had some retailers commit to going with the platform, which has been fantastic, and we've only been out here a very short amount of time, but we're moving into the US market this year, and we are going to be putting a huge amount of effort behind that. So success for us and for us as a partnership really does manifest itself in number of clients, and then I suppose our part of the bigger macro sort of consideration is that we're here to educate the market, and we're here to make bigger, more robust retailers that are, pulling themselves into the new age and really maximizing the online aspect of their businesses. And so we'll be measuring our success by their success. Yeah,
I think we're going to measure it the same way. But Brendan, as a responsible citizen of Linnworks for the North American market, what would be your response?
Yeah, I would say it's listening to the customers as well, of where are they seeing an opportunity of the ones that Virtualstock is really working closely with in the U.S., where they're seeing growth. Kind of, is there an opportunity to expand across certain verticals? Is there an opportunity to replicate if someone's having success with a given retailer, whereas other retailers are like them that haven't made the jump yet? Maybe really think about their online presence, or making the jump to be thinking about drop ship, or how they open up that to more consumers and sellers. I think that's an opportunity where it's going to get more retailers on board, or kind of how do we now get them to have similar success they've had on the ones that they start out with. So that's kind of where my first kind of mind goes. But furthermore, I would say that the other key thing is really letting those customers know what the requirements are to how to be successful on those given retailers as well. Because at this point, each one is going to have a different requirement for them. How do we make them aware about that? Where we come in, where we help them, but some things that they have to do as well on their own to keep up with some of the expectations the retailers will have to be successful.
My perspective is we all know what we're held accountable to, but the biggest thing for me is customer retention, because if you're doing a good job of your customers, you land them in the States or in the UK where we have a large customer base. Retention is how I measure the business as far as what we're doing. Revenue comes with that, of course, but serving the customer, retaining them, and then growing value each and every month with them is how we look at it. So yeah, that's why the partnership I think is really important, because bringing unique solutions to the existing customer base and then going after new markets for both of us.
Yeah, and this is exactly it. Where I see our job collectively is if we're deploying modern technology within a retailer that has got legacy systems, then it's our responsibility and our job to keep that innovation coming. Never to stand still, to keep pushing. We have clients that actually refer to us as their innovation arm, and that's a really great position to be in. So, but it's our responsibility to keep innovating and making sure that we're bringing increased value, keeping them ahead of the curve, continually improving their businesses and their customers' experience, and that leads to customer retention.
Yeah, I agree. that's one of the primary reasons when I first met you in London a couple months ago.
Yeah.
I got really excited by learning more about you and your organization and the journey you guys have been on and the journey we want to go on together. So look forward to the future working with all of us, building the business together and going out in the marketplace, because there's a lot of opportunity in this market, and then let's go after another market when we get this market
Yeah, absolutely.
going. So appreciate the time today.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thanks.
you.